Most people over 60 think their body is slowing down because of aging. But here's the truth no one tells you. It's not age that's the real enemy. It's movement patterns that stopped working years ago. You see, we get used to doing just enough to get by, sitting in the same position, standing the same way, walking with the same habits. Over time, these routines train your body to move less and hurt more. But what if your stiffness, balance issues, or that constant heaviness in your legs had less to do with being older and more to do with forgotten muscles simply falling asleep? Today, we're waking them up. And no, it's not the usual walk around the block, advice, or floor exercises you dread. These are 3 oddly simple, totally overlooked movements that could literally change how you feel when you get out of bed, reach for a cabinet, or take the stairs. One of them works while you're still sitting. Another starts in front of your kitchen sink. If you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, "This isn't how I used to move," then don't go anywhere, because the fix is closer and easier than you think. If you're tired of feeling stiff, tired, or invisible, like this video and subscribe. Your comeback story starts here. Morven Thatcher is 72 years old. Not the kind of man you'd expect to see in a gym. He's a retired jazz pianist from New Orleans, sharp-dressed, soft-spoken, and deeply proud of the way he used to move. He wasn't an athlete, but his body had rhythm. His fingers once danced across piano keys for hours. His back swayed with the music. His hips moved with precision. That grace was his identity. But slowly, the rhythm disappeared. It started with a tight pull in his lower back, then a strange clicking in his knees. At first, he brushed it off. Getting older, he'd say. But then came the stiffness in the mornings, the shortened walks, the growing fear of bending down to tie his shoes. One day, after getting up too fast, he lost his balance and grabbed a chair to keep from falling. That was the moment, not the pain. He could manage pain, but the fear, that quiet voice that whispered, "Maybe this is just how it ends." Morven tried the usual advice. Walk more. Stretch gently. He even attempted a senior fitness class once. But the movements felt disconnected from his body, like someone else's rhythm. He didn't need a routine. He needed something that made sense for him. Something that respected the way his body had changed, but also gave him a chance to take the lead again. Then he stumbled, almost literally, into a simple discovery. A movement his grandmother once showed him in childhood. Not an exercise, the gesture. A way of shifting weight that didn't hurt. A seated stretch that didn't make him feel ridiculous. He remembered how his grandmother, well into her 80s, would do small daily motions while waiting for coffee or folding laundry. She never called them workouts, but they were the reason she remained steady on her feet into her final years. That's when it clicked for Morven. He didn't need high-intensity workouts or machines. He needed body wisdom, the kind that seniors used before fitness became a billion-dollar industry. Movements that were intuitive, functional, and easy to return to, like muscle memory for life. So he committed, not to a new exercise routine, but to a new mindset. Every move must serve his real life. He used the countertop, the couch, even the porch rail as training tools. And within weeks, something remarkable happened. He stood taller. He laughed more. And for the first time in years, he danced to a slow jazz record in his kitchen without holding on to anything. That's Morven, not a fitness model, not a miracle case, just a man who decided to move again on his own terms. There's a frustrating moment that happens to almost every senior at some point. You go to stand up, and your body doesn't respond the way it used to. It's not sharp pain. It's not even exhaustion. It's hesitation, a slight delay, a feeling that your body is ignoring you. That's exactly what Morven experienced, not once, but every single morning for years. He'd tell himself, "All right, let's move." But his body seemed to have its own plan. His left hip would hesitate. His right leg would push too hard. His shoulders leaned forward even when he was trying to sit tall. It felt like his body was falling out of sync, like a band with each player playing a different song. And here's the surprising part. Morven wasn't weak. He wasn't lazy. In fact, many seniors like him walk every day, stretch occasionally, and still feel like their bodies aren't responding. The problem isn't effort. The problem is connection. Most modern exercises are designed for younger, highly responsive bodies, ones that recover quickly and don't deal with years of compensation. But once you're over 60, especially if you've spent years behind a desk, on your feet at work, or managing household duties, your body develops patterns, protective patterns. For example, if your left leg starts feeling weak, your right leg takes over without you even noticing. If your back is tight, your neck and shoulders compensate. It's your body's way of helping you, but in the long run, it creates misalignment. Morven began noticing small things first. His pants wore out faster on one side. His shoes tilted outward. He always leaned on the same arm of the couch. These weren't random quirks, they were clues. His body wasn't disobeying him. It was simply doing what it could with the instructions it was given. The truth is, our bodies listen, but only when we speak the right language. The key isn't pushing harder. It's reprogramming the brain-body connection. These simple, unusual movements you're about to learn don't just strengthen muscles. They restore trust between your brain and your limbs. That trust is what keeps you from falling, helps you stand taller, and gives you that confident feeling when walking into a room. And it starts with awareness. So take a second right now. Stand or sit comfortably and pay attention to which leg or arm you favor. Is your weight shifted slightly to one side? Is one foot flatter than the other? You might be surprised how long your body's been compensating without you realizing it. Do you notice yourself favoring one side when walking or standing? Comment with yes or never noticed. Let's see how many of us have the same hidden habit. Exercise number 1, the glass lift knee sweep. Morven never thought a wine bottle would become his secret to better balance. But every morning, before breakfast, he'd place that bottle on the ground next to the wall, not to drink from, but to imagine something more delicate, like a crystal glass filled to the brim with water. His goal? To sweep it gently with his foot, raise it slowly to knee height, and not spill a drop, at least in his mind. This is what we now call the glass lift knee sweep, a graceful, almost meditative movement that trains your body to do something it forgot how to: balance itself with precision. Here's how it works. Stand tall near a wall or sturdy counter for support. Shift your weight onto one leg, keeping your core gently engaged. Now imagine your opposite foot is sliding under a fragile glass. Sweep it forward slowly, just a few inches off the ground, and lift it until your knee is about hip height. Hold it there for a moment, then bring it down just as slowly, as if you're trying not to tip the glass. Now, here's what makes this simple motion so powerful. It activates the gluteus medius, a muscle on the side of your hip that's vital for stability and almost always ignored in standard exercises. After 60, this muscle tends to go dormant. And when it does, you may notice your gait change, your knees wobble, or you find yourself leaning to one side when walking. That's your body sounding the alarm. But with the glass lift knee sweep, you're doing more than just moving your leg. You're retraining your brain to trust that leg again. You're building microcontrol, stabilizing your ankle and knee, and reinforcing your balance from the ground up. Best of all, you can do it in your pajamas, no mat, no shame. Morven did his while waiting for his kettle to boil. There's something strangely elegant about it. It's not about brute strength. It's about poise, rediscovering that slow, fluid motion that your body used to do without thinking. And the beauty? No one's watching. You're not in a gym. You're not being told to feel the burn. You're just moving like you're holding something that matters. Now here's a challenge. Try it, right now if you can. Stand beside a wall and lift your leg as if you're balancing something fragile on top of your foot. Keep your movements slow. Did your side start to tremble a little? That's a good sign. That's your stabilizer muscles waking up, like old friends who haven't heard from you in years. Try lifting your leg like you're balancing something delicate. Did you feel your side shake? That's your body waking up. Let us know in the comments what you noticed. It might surprise you. Exercise number 2, the sink roll press. Morven didn't start this one thinking it would be anything special. He was just standing at his kitchen sink, waiting for the water to boil, when an old memory came back. His grandfather, a tall man with perfect posture, used to press his hands against the side of a barn door and stretch his chest open wide every morning before chores. Not to work out, but to open the lungs, as he used to say. So, Morven placed his hands on the sink, stepped his feet back, and slowly let his chest glide toward the edge. Not like a push-up, there was no rush, no straining. His elbows flared gently like wings. His chest rolled forward, then paused. Then, just as slowly, he pressed himself back. That first movement sparked something. A stretch across his chest he hadn't felt in years. A soft pull between the shoulder blades. A lift in his upper spine. It wasn't painful, it was corrective. He wasn't just moving. He was untangling the years. This is the sink roll press. And while it looks deceptively simple, it targets one of the most ignored areas of the aging body, the thoracic spine. That's the mid-upper part of your back, the zone that controls posture, breathing, and how your neck aligns with your shoulders. As we age, especially after 60, that area stiffens. Life pulls us forward, toward phones, books, steering wheels, even grandchildren. Over time, this creates the hunched look many seniors come to accept as inevitable. But Morven proved that it's not. With just a few gentle sink roll presses each morning, his upper body began to shift. His head no longer leaned forward like it was chasing the ground. His shoulders opened up. His breathing deepened. Even his voice became clearer. That's because this movement isn't just about muscles. It's about restoring space in the body. The beauty of this exercise is its elegance. You don't need gym clothes. You don't even need to leave your kitchen. You just need a counter, a moment of calm, and the willingness to roll your chest forward and take your body back. Here's how to try it. Stand facing your sink. Place both hands shoulder-width apart on the edge. Step your feet back until your body forms a slight diagonal. Now, bend your elbows outward and allow your chest to roll forward toward the sink edge. When you feel a gentle stretch in your upper chest and back, pause, then slowly press back. It's like ironing out the wrinkles in your upper spine without needing the iron. Would you try this next time you're waiting for the kettle to boil? Let us know in the comments. You might be surprised what just 5 of these can do to how you carry yourself for the rest of the day. Exercise number 3, the couch slide and reach. Morven was never much for floor workouts. The moment someone said get down on the mat, he'd shake his head and say, if I get down there, someone's going to have to help me back up. That's why this next movement felt like magic, because it didn't start on the floor or even on his feet. It started on the couch, deep in the cushions, exactly where most people feel stuck. One quiet afternoon, as a jazz record hummed softly in the background, Morven found himself stretching without thinking. He slid one leg forward along the couch, toes flexed, while reaching the opposite arm slowly overhead. It was an instinctive, almost elegant motion, crossbody and smooth. Something about it felt right. Grounded, balanced. He repeated it on the other side, adding a gentle twist as he reached. It was subtle, but he felt a shift, like the entire front of his body woke up. That became his daily ritual. He called it the couch slide and reach, though he jokingly referred to it as his TV tango, because it fit perfectly during commercials. 3 slow reaches per break, no standing required. Here's what makes this exercise different. It doesn't just stretch, it connects. Each time you slide one leg forward and reach the opposite arm up and over, you're activating something called cross-body coordination, the same system your brain uses to walk, climb stairs, and keep your balance while turning. It also wakes up your core muscles, especially the obliques, and improves blood flow through the hips and spine. Many seniors are told, just move more, but no one says how, or when, or even where. And that's where this move changes the game, because it tells your nervous system, hey, we're still here, and we're working gently, but with purpose. You don't need to get up. You don't need sneakers. You just need a couch, a few quiet minutes, and the willingness to stretch like you mean it. Here's how to do it. Sit deep in a firm couch with both feet flat. Slowly slide one leg forward until it's extended straight in front of you. At the same time, raise the opposite arm and reach it diagonally overhead, toward the ceiling, then just slightly across the body. Pause, breathe, then slowly return to center and switch sides. Do 3 reps per side, or whatever feels good. At first, it might feel like a strange seated dance move, but after just a few rounds, you'll feel warmth spreading through your torso and hips. That's your body saying, "Thank you for remembering me." Which of these 3 feels the most unusual to you so far? Tell us below. We read every comment. And who knows, your answer might be the one that helps someone else finally get moving. Morven never set out to become fit. He wasn't chasing six-pack abs or trying to look like someone half his age. What he wanted, what so many people over 60 quietly crave, was to feel capable again, to move through the world without hesitation, to live in a body that didn't feel like a burden. 3 weeks into his new approach, something began to shift. Not overnight, not with fireworks, but in small, undeniable ways. One morning, while shopping for groceries, Morven reached for the cart, but stopped himself. He realized he wasn't leaning on it like before. His back was upright. His legs felt stable. He walked through the store with his head up, no longer shuffling, no longer guarding every step. That simple moment, letting go of the cart, felt like a personal victory. Another day, he reached for a stubborn jar of pickles. Normally, he'd give it a few gentle taps against the counter or ask someone else for help. This time, he just twisted, and it popped open. It wasn't about the jar. It was about the grip strength he didn't realize he'd been rebuilding in those quiet sink roll presses. But the moment that changed everything happened in the rain. Morven had just left his favorite corner cafe, umbrella in hand, when the sky cracked open unexpectedly. A sudden downpour. People scattered. And without thinking, without fear, Morven broke into a light jog across the street. Just a few seconds, just a few strides. But it was effortless. It wasn't rehearsed. It came from a place of trust, the kind your body gives back to you once you've earned it. He laughed the entire way home, not because he ran, but because he hadn't hesitated. And that's the real transformation. Not in the mirror, but in the moments you forget to second-guess yourself. When your body starts saying yes instead of maybe. Morven didn't become younger, but he became more fluid, more responsive, more confident. He moved through his days with a quiet pride, knowing he'd reclaimed something no one talks about enough: freedom inside your own skin. This isn't about youth. It isn't about counting reps or hitting milestones. It's about being able to do the simple things: reaching, standing, turning, walking, without fear, without struggle. It's about knowing that your body, even now, can still listen, still learn, and still surprise you. And that might just be the most powerful change of all. You don't need dumbbells, gym memberships, or complicated routines that leave you more confused than confident. What you do need is to reconnect with the muscles that have been waiting quietly in the background, waiting for a chance to support you again. These simple, unusual movements aren't about burning calories or chasing youth. They're about giving your body new instructions. And your body listens when you speak its language. Just start with one small, thoughtful move you can do in your living room, by your sink, or even while sitting on your couch. These aren't exercises, they're invitations. Invitations to feel more stable on your feet, more lifted in your chest, more grounded in your day-to-day life. And over time, they unlock something powerful: confidence. The kind that shows in your posture, your steps, your smile. By next week, you won't just feel different, you'll carry yourself differently. Like someone who knows a quiet secret about getting older. You're not stuck. You're just one good move away from feeling more alive in your body. If this made you think twice about what your body's still capable of, like this video, subscribe for more unusual but powerful strategies, and share it with someone who still believes it's too late. Let's help each other move with purpose again.